Hello there. So Keir Starmer is sending immigrants to military camps now. Open military camps. Camps that will be guarded. Guarded to keep us out. To keep us from seeing what is going on in there. Personally, I've seen enough very concerning paramilitary-style activism this weekend from them and their supporters to keep me awake at night. And now we learn from the Reform UK policing Tsar Colin Sutton that there are prison officers who can't speak English and need to use flashcards to tell prisoners what to do. Are we going to see this among guards at these new camps? Or is it already happening? Here is Colin Sutton talking to Martin Daubney on GB News.
Secondly, and this staggered me when I heard of this the other day, this is something I've got from a very good source, a very trusted source, that there are now so many prison officers that have been recruited on skilled workers visas from abroad who don't have decent English, that they're issuing them with flashcards with common commands to show the prisoners so they can tell them what they want them to do. You know, you hold something up saying, go back in your cell, put your lights out or whatever. And, you know, if we've got staff like that who have difficulty in understanding English, both written and spoken, is it any surprise that these accidents will happen?
I'm lost for words.
And there you have it. What a total farce this government is. And Starmer, who claimed he would shut down the use of barracks and hotels for asylum seekers, is now forced to keep the hotels open, but further refill the old army barracks with fighting-aged men. Fighting-aged men not of this country. Keir, the U-turn Starmer, our venerated Prime Minister, came into government berating the failed Tories for using old military bases, top-notch hotels and barges to accommodate asylum seekers, and he's now been forced down exactly the same route. He's now looking at housing migrants in military sites as of next month. He scrapped the Rwanda scheme to then come up with his farcical one-in, one-out scheme, and trying to stop the flow of migrants from hundreds of thousands of miles away by negotiating with our international partners at a massive cost to this country. But still the flotillas of rubber boats flock in. But will he look at the pull factors that attract them here in the first place? Never. Nor will they ever talk about nor work at reducing legal migration. This heavy one-way flow is now a permanent feature of our political landscape, and this has to stop. Many of these channel-crossing vessels, and I use the word vessels when I should be saying floating death traps, these are now redesigned and specifically manufactured for the job of transporting over 100 people at a time into the waiting and welcoming arms of Border Force, the RNLI and Home Office officials. A whole new industry built on the weakness, or worse, of UK politicians. You'd think they had shares in small boat manufacturing companies, or in the companies the Home Office pay all that taxpayer dosh to for looking after our visitors. Wouldn't you? And all Keir Starmer and his team can come up with is a rehash of the very Tory plans that he slammed the Tories for following in the first place. And according to reports, ministers are hoping to accommodate about 10,000 of them in prefab buildings on former military sites. But given 36,000 people had crossed the channel in small boats by October this year, you realise that 10,000 is going to fall well short of the real requirement. Because once processed and rubber-stamped into the country, there is no housing to give them. Unless you make Brits homeless in order to accomplish that. This country is filling up fast and there is zero political will to do anything about it. In fact, as far as I can say, it's the complete reverse. And now I'm going to bring Richard into the conversation to see what he thinks about all of this.
Thank you, Jeff. Yes, this is an incredibly worrying situation because it's been painted as if these camps are going to be taken over, and the psychology behind this is don't worry about hotels now, and don't worry about houses of multiple occupancy. We're going to be putting these people into camps. These people, we haven't got a clue who they are. That's point one. We don't know who they are. A lot of the time, we don't actually know where they've come from. Okay, they've entered this country illegally. As you said, these are fighting age young men. And the worrying thing for me is many of these former MOD camps, I'm assuming some of them might actually be used MOD camps. The problem is that a lot of these camps are actually situated next to small villages and small towns, and local people, at the end of the day, yes, you won't be allowed in there, but those people who we don't know who they are will be allowed out. Now, we have seen this weekend a lot of people, very angry people with very different values, potentially. I mean, I'm not saying they are, but potentially holding similar values to those people who are entering into these hotels, into these camps and into hotels. And it makes you wonder. It really does make you wonder what is going on. This is a warning, ladies and gentlemen, that these people are now going to be spread out amongst communities. Okay? Now, we can't, I'm not saying that we should hate these people, because we shouldn't hate asylum seekers, because we know that they are leaving war-torn France to come to Britain. That terrible war zone, and aside from the other multiple countries that they have travelled through to get to Britain, where we will look after them very well, better than our own, incidentally. Better than, these people get a better service than our own war veterans. So with military-aged fighting men from other countries are welcomed into Britain, which is good. Well, we should do that, of course. It's good and right, isn't it? Yet our own people on the streets, our elderly, the homeless, what happens to them? No, there's something very sinister about this. And once inside these camps, as you rightly said, Jeff, the people guarding them, many of them don't, if it replicates what's happened in the prison system, many of them will not speak English. What is going on? What is going on? I'm very worried. What will go on inside those camps? We know about radicalization that takes place within our prison system. We know about that. That's a thing, right? So what about potential of radicalization inside these camps? And of course, I'm talking about far-right radicalization. I'm not talking about anything else whatsoever, am I? No. Jeff?
Yes, and someone's pointed out a good point here, which I had overlooked and not thought about, was from Scan D6I. I would say those working in those particular places have NDAs in place right now. Yes, non-disclosure agreements will be flying around the place. Sign up to this, and we might give you some money if you do sign it. Do you remember the Tommy Robinson film that he put out, that he shouldn't have put out, and all this sort of thing, where he actually had people saying to him, teachers saying to him, yeah, I took some money, signed an NDA, can't talk to you. Remember that? Well, I reckon that's rife across government now, covering all these situations so that no one ever talks to you, and they're being paid off with guess whose money? Our money. And that should make us angry.
Okay, NDA's in place, but what about criminal checks on people who can't speak English? That's another matter entirely. Are we certain of the people being employed in these places? Have they got full criminal background checks? No, I'm sure they have, of course, because they wouldn't be able to work in the United Kingdom unless they did. But it does make you wonder. It's just a query, really. Not stating anything, of course. No, terrifying, Jeff. NDAs. Well, we do know that there are NDAs in place with certain people who have worked inside these, for instance, migrant hotels. So, is that going to extend now to these new camps? And of course, there's talk
I would
of
say so.
prefabs being built, etc., for these people. And I think, oh, well, fantastic, great. It's good that they're having good and decent accommodation. I just hope that they'll be able to, slot into society nicely, like all the other people have who've come into this country. Integration's a wonderful thing. Multiculturalism, it's a wonderful thing, and we should embrace it, shouldn't we? Absolutely.
One thing that worries me is what happens if they are unhappy about a camp, a prefab camp in the middle of nowhere. What if they're unhappy about that and want to go to a city with a hotel and all that sort of thing? Yeah. I'll leave that to your imagination. And I'll just say thank you very much, Fenner. This won't happen because the left will kick off and cry human rights and then put them in hotels. That probably is closer to the truth. I mean, the only thing that the government can do to force it through is the fact they got a big majority. And they can sort of force this sort of stuff through if they have to. But at the end of the day, as we found out earlier when they were trying to cut back on benefits, that big majority worked against them at that particular time, didn't it? So I can see your point there. I could really see that point. That's really quite important.
Well, there'll be human rights lawyers queuing up outside these camps, I'm sure, to ensure that they get the best treatment humanly possible. And human rights lawyers.
There will be people who are allowed into the camps. Well, yes, sorry, I forgot them. They will. That's who will be allowed into the camps, of course. The human rights lawyers, lots of them.
Yeah, I don't know many countries who would put up with what we've put up to this degree, other than Ireland, who have clearly embraced, and that the Irish people love the enrichment that has taken place there, and we should celebrate it, celebrate our diversity. Don't forget, nothing bad has ever come from it. You know, people come in and out of this country all the time. By the way, on something totally unrelated, Jeff, I'm not sure if you have the video footage there. I think it was this weekend. There were people, Brits, patriots, in Southport doing marches. And in Southport, who turned up? Of course, the usual, I believe this footage, incidentally, I might be wrong, is of Southport, recent footage of Southport. And who turned up? Of course, the Say No to Racism brigade, which, I personally think racism is a terrible thing, obviously. But what are they doing there when this is not about race? This is about something else. And the people of Southport have paid a heavy, heavy price. And yet the behaviour of this Antifa mob is absolutely disgraceful. Why is it that the authorities, the Home Secretary, is not clamping down upon these people? Why not? Do you have that footage there, Jeff?
Yes, I have. I just want to show you a couple of tweets about it first. This one from Europa Watch. Southport protests kicking off. Anti-immigration protesters clash with lefty stand-up to racism protesters. The lefties are very aggressive and willing to use violence. The police act accordingly by kettling them in. The lefties have to use violence because they lack logic. So, and also, here's one from My Brakes Won't Work. Little Antifa, yes, something, arrested at Southport demo. You'd think after the tragedy that Southporters faced, they'd show a bit of respect, a bit of decorum. No, they intend to be violent from the start, according to her, of course. But what I'll do is I'll play her video just so you get the idea of that.
Jeff, before you play it, I'd just like to say, if you could just press the like button on this video right now, that would help us a lot. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching, please press the like button. Continue, please, Jeffrey.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that interjection there. And we'll play that particular video.
She's hit me with it and I reported it. That's the situation we're in. She's hit me with this umbrella. It's spiky. It's a weapon. It's not a weapon. Yeah! One! And you're going to say they're not violent? They're not violent, are they not? And you're going to say they're not violent? Wow.
Let's get all these cameras.
Wow.
Let's get some space.
Wow. 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 And that officer, where is he? Where is he, that officer? That officer said they weren't violent. Do you see what I'm saying now? I am back. I am back. I'm further back than you.
You know what you're doing.
Wow. Get rid of all these cameras, he just said, guys. Man just said, get rid of all these cameras. Wow. Imagine being imagine.
There
Yes.
you are.
Jeff, they were clearly protect. I mean, but they were rushing to arrest that person. Potentially. I don't know the reason for the arrest, but it was potentially to protect the. In fact, they weren't actually arresting. They could have been possibly. I'm just speculating. Removing him from the anti-immigration protesters, like that lady, potentially, because I can't think of any other reason. Otherwise, it means that these Antifa types, or rather, stand up to racism types, could potentially be causing trouble on our streets.
Yes, they could.
Yeah, but,
yes,
but
yes,
there's
yes,
no other.
definitely.
You haven't got any other video evidence of anything like that going on, have you, there, Jeff?
Yes, I have, but for some reason it's fallen off the computer again. It keeps
Oh,
happening
dear.
to me. Right, no, it's all right. I can find them because they're. I
This
know
is
they're on
Jeffnology,
my,
ladies and gentlemen.
No, it's nothing to do with me. This is nothing to do with me. This is
Yeah.
yes. Right, where are we? We have this one, which was quite telling, really, because you look at it and you look at the way that the police are treating the lefties, but there are no dogs and horses in attendance, and you wonder why, don't you?
Hang on a second. No dogs and horses, but there were horses and dogs the other day down in Southampton.
This is the press going in to have a look.
Who are these people?
Exactly.
This is meant to be Southport, isn't it? I mean, if this is Southport, don't they have any consideration for what that community has been through? Can't they understand that? Can't these people understand that? I'm sorry, Jeff, I have to speak here because I'm very angry. If this is what I think it is, then these people are demonstrating in Southport, as I said, a community that has paid an incredibly heavy price, a one that nearly kicked this nation into something terrible, right? After one of the most unimaginably awful incidents took place. And yet they come in there saying that, or effectively they're saying that everyone who is concerned about their communities is a racist, is a bloody racist. No! I'm sorry, Jeff. Carry on, sorry. Bloody angry at that.
Yeah, and if you read the poster there, it says, "Whose streets? Our streets." Well, the police are kettling them in quite effectively at the moment without much... maybe that's what they know how weak the lefties are, so they can just deal with them without having battens and horses and dogs and all the rest of it. I don't know.
It's all the soy lattes.
Yeah. No Union Jacks from them either.
Yeah, no testosterone either. Just... yeah.
They want to hurt people so bad that they're trying to force past
Why are there Palestinian flags there? Why am I seeing... What has Palestine got to do with this? I can see one now. What's that?
Yeah.
What's that got to do with this situation now? What is it? I don't get it, Jeff. I don't get it.
Don't ask me. It's just that the lefties are so confused amongst themselves. I mean, we showed that video yesterday, didn't we? Where the lefty was talking to the Palestine marchers and saying, "We're all on the same side," and the guy said, "No, we're not."
Well,
So,
yes.
yeah,
The
it's
thing,
just-
I mean, at the end of the day, things are getting so frayed in this country, and we must here on the Jeff Taylor channel always ask for calm and peace. Always ask for that. That's where we because
Yes.
we know what's heading our way if we don't. And there are many people who think that should happen, but as I've said, those people probably don't know the full repercussions of that. We've got to just double down, Jeff, on pushing the political off-ramp that seems to be disappearing by the day.
Yeah, Rickshaw, sorry you're in this position. I'm homeless living in a house of multiple occupancy. I've been living with boat migrants for over 18 months. I've tried to speak up and have been shut down. What the F is going on?
Oh, Rickshaw.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry that life has brought you to this place. Honestly, and I can imagine your anger must be, well, not just anger, sense of injustice.
Yeah.
And, you know, God bless you. Honestly, Rickshaw, so sorry to hear this.
I hope luck comes your way. And I'm praying for you as well.
Yes, we'll be praying for you. Thank God bless you. Oh.
Yes, as Deborah Daniel says, they're really aggressive, Jeff. Yes, they are. And, Valhalla Stinks says that the right get more violent, trust me. Well, I actually haven't seen that much from... There isn't that much of the violent far right or whatever, very few. And of people I've met on these so-called far right marches have been really lovely little old ladies, and lots of children have been there. You know, it's been great. It's been very peaceful. And the only time it gets a bit is when a police officer sort of tries to make their presence known. You know what I mean? Just let us get on with it. And we'll be quiet and we'll be peaceful. Well, no, be loud and peaceful, actually.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with it, with demonstrating, okay? It's everyone's legal right to demonstrate. The problem that I have at the moment is not saying that it should be illegal. I can't say it should be illegal, incidentally, for those Antifa types and Stand Up to Racism crowd to be there, because that is also their right, okay? That's their right. Do I think it's insensitive and pathetic? Yes. And I'm allowed to have that opinion, incidentally. I think it's disgusting in Southport, of all places. It's like when they turned up at Epping. You know, some terrible things have happened in Epping. Some terrible things are happening across this country. I don't know who's going to do it. I mean, I did see a tweet by Ant Middleton when he saw what happened this weekend down in London, down in Tower Hamlets. Yeah. And he said, look... Yeah. If I was the London mayor, that would have been dealt with instantly. Instantly. There'll be no more that. He said, I will clean up the streets. And our streets need cleaning up. The rule of law needs to be re-established in this country. Otherwise, we are descending into hell. That's the fact of the matter.
Well, we've just heard about last night, haven't we? Midhurst Gardens in Hillingdon, Uxbridge, where someone went amok and someone is dead.
Awful.
And a couple of others are injured as a result. And that's only coming out sort of now. This is just... it's just unbelievable that it's almost like a random event. It sounds like a random event. And of course, we already have the rumours about who did it, you know, where they originated from and all this sort of thing.
Yes, we can't speculate on that.
Once again, no, can't speculate. But once again, there will be a time lag between the event when we find out and then what some of the truth is coming out the other end. And in between that, anger goes up, and it's just
these are flashpoints that are popping up left, right, and centre. There's fires, small fires going off all right across this country. I mean, when I say fires, I'm talking about dangerous flashpoint events. But this is why, you know, after Southport, you know, the police should learn the lesson. Release the information as soon as possible. Don't let speculation rise. That's where danger creeps in. And we can't speculate upon that. But indeed, awful. I believe a 14-year-old was attacked as well in that. I might be wrong. I could be wrong there.
I heard that, yes.
Let me have a look. I do have that actually on the BBC. Arrest made after man dies in triple stabbing. One man has died, and it's in the BBC, by the way. Yes, a 14-year-old boy was also taken to hospital with knife wounds, police said. A 22-year-old man was tasered and arrested. Look, whoever this man is, whatever his point of origin, he is irrelevant. It just goes to show what is happening on the streets of the United Kingdom. I've said it before. What happened with Stephen Lawrence was dreadful, and it hit the psyche of this nation. Now that is a regular occurrence. I'm sorry. All right, not exactly the same in scenario, but people, you know where I'm coming from, everyone.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking to see this. You know, what world is my young son coming into? You know, it makes me think, is it
Any
time
of
to
us.
leave Britain? Well, yes. Yeah. Is it time to leave Britain? That's the thing which I keep thinking. I'm like, no, I'm not going to leave Britain. I can't leave Britain at the moment. I couldn't if I wanted to. I couldn't afford it, but there we go.
Yeah. Now, Elijah 7788 makes a point. The right is breaching past the 50% mark. Yeah, suddenly the right, the right, just normal people have found out they can speak up. They can comment in newspapers and on and everything. And the whole drive towards non-crime hate incidents to shut you down, make sure you think correctly, is all going. It's all just being destroyed. And the left that have spent decades of their time and effort on putting all this in place is now detecting that the tide is turning fast against them. And as Elijah says, the left is on their heels and they know they are losing. This is when they get, a bit more forceful. But they have got to be very, very, very careful. We have to keep making our point of view absolutely clear, and the police and the politicians have got to know that if they don't follow, they're out. The politicians will go, so they will have to make the police and the courts follow what we say. We are the bosses. We are. And we tell them what we want, not the other way round. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's another one. The left is now divided and soon to be conquered. Yeah. There you go. Now,
it's a very different left is going to emerge, Jeff. That's what's going to happen. There will be, I actually believe this is the end of, I mean, some people say, oh no, people are going to want more mainstream sort of middle of the road leftism. I think it's going to go the other way. And I think it's going to run into, we've seen an increase. I think I sent you a poll of the performance today. I don't know if you took a copy of that.
Oh, yeah, I got those. Yeah,
from YouGov.
Let's just go from, this is from the Mail. It says, Labour has sunk to its lowest ever poll rating in a fresh blow to Keir Starmer. YouGov's latest voting intention survey found Labour was supported by just 17% of voters, which is down 3 percentage points from last week. But more than that, this is from YouGov itself on an X. Our latest Westminster voting intention, which was the 26th and 27th of October, so it's very, very recent, has Labour on their lowest figure ever recorded by YouGov, with the Greens on their highest. Reform UK, 27%, up a percentage point on the last one. Labour, down 3 points on 17%. The Tories, the same on 17%. We now have Labour and Conservatives down wallowing in the gutter at the moment. The Greens have actually increased. Why is anyone listening to the Greens? What on earth is going on? The Lib Dems are still 15%, and the SNP have actually gone down by 1% to 3%. But up in Scotland, it doesn't matter because that 3% converts into about 40 seats or something by the time it gets through. And also, just to show you the actual what it looks like graphically, so you can see how far ahead Reform UK is just from that one poll. And it's not like they've been behind in any recent poll at all, as far as I can remember, over the last month.
I mean, look at it. A coalition between Reform and the Tories would give I'm not saying that Reform even need one, but I can't remember how many seats this would equate to. I think it was 300 and something seats just based on this poll, I believe, for Reform. I'm not entirely sure, but that's from what I can gather. I may be wrong.
Yeah, and that's the important thing.
Worst case scenario, though, is a Reform Tory coalition, which of course could happen, incidentally. No matter what Farage or Badenoch say, of course it could happen. And maybe we are seeing a slightly different Tory party emerging after its disastrous 14 years or whatever it was in power.
Yeah, they've got some hard speakers, 2 or 3, but I reckon the rest of them are still the wet cabbages they've always been.
Correct.
Now,
you
when
can't
you
trust
look
them.
at this, when you look at this, it's the percentages could lead you to think that if Labour and the Greens, or Labour and Lib Dems, or even Labour, Greens and Lib Dems got together, they could just sweep the board with a... But it comes down to the actual number of seats, not the percentages. So it would come down to, if there was an outright majority from Reform UK, the others can do what they like. They would not be able to make a government. But so I don't know what the seats that would equate to, but that is the real thing behind that. There you go. Ooh,
Well, I mean, Robert Jenrick. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
Before we move on to Robert Jenrick, yesterday I missed someone out on the Super Chats, and I just want to correct that. And that was Unreal Sentinel. Thank you very much for this. This was missed out by me. I value your opinion. There are no Orthodox churches near me, but there is a church I can go to. It's not too woke. It does have a female vicar. Have you any thoughts? First thing is, go to church. That's, for me, that's really, really it. And take what you can from it. And if you can find a better one, then find one and go to that one. But I don't know.
I
Your
agree.
thoughts,
That's
Richard.
I echo your sentiments there entirely. Just go to a good church, the one that preaches the word of God and is a Christian church and is not messed up by any distortions of the Christian faith or the Christian message. And yeah, I'll say no more. There we go.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And Jack Bradley, thank you very much. A merger between Reform and the Tories is a no-no. At the moment, I couldn't agree more. But can you imagine the day when the dust settles after the general election and say Reform has got the most seats but needs a few more? And would they go to DUP? To, like the Tories did when they went and got the 8 seats or whatever it was off the DUP to help them with Brexit and all that, and completely fluff the whole thing? Or would Reform then go to the Tories? The trouble is, though, when you make a coalition, the minor party there has massive clout, as we found with the Lib Dems and the Tories. Do you remember?
Yes,
when they
but
had
I
ministerial
don't know...
positions and all that. I don't know whether it would happen that way, but
I'm not so sure that in this sort of scenario, because you were talking about diametrically opposed ideologies in many ways, the Tories, or they should be diametrically opposed if there wasn't a uniparty between the Tories and the Lib Dems.
Labour.
But when you're talking about the sort of mood music coming from the Tories next to Reform, I think Reform would be the dominant party. Again, though, if you want to see what you and I believe in dominating the political landscape and any future government, I say support Advance. Even if you're not going to vote Advance, support it. Join the party, because then it shifts the Overton window more to along the lines of what probably most true Brits do want. Even if not a single candidate is fielded by Advance, hypothetically. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying you should support Advance right now. That's it.
Yeah, and thank you, Honeybee, for your contribution.
Thank you, Honeybee.
And Cockney Brian, thank you very much, and God bless you both, and God bless you too.
God bless you, Cockney Brian, and God bless all of you watching this video right now. And I did say to like the video, but please make sure you are subscribed, because sometimes the subscribe thing can be a bit faulty.
Yeah.
So if you could, I've been watching here, a lot of YouTubers right now are having major issues with their subscribe. For some reason, people think, oh, I thought I was subscribed. I'm not anymore. What happened? Yeah. And when you are subscribed, click the all option. Otherwise, you just don't get notified when we put something new out, which is the purpose really of one of the main purposes of subscribing. So do that, please. And if you like what we do, become a channel member. There's a join button there somewhere. Okay, come on, Jeff. Let's move on. Why should we go on to Robert Jenrick? Because what happened? This is spectacular.
Robert Jenrick.
This was spectacular, actually.
I'll lead you into this first, because this is. Robert Jenrick said, you couldn't make this up. The government botched the removal of the one small boat migrant who wants to be deported. Calamity Lammy strikes again. And So you've got that particular one, and Alison Pearson also tweeted this out as well. So she tweeted this thing saying, here's the Justice Secretary splitting his sides over the monstrous prison service incompetence that released a convicted offender, presumably by mistake, the same incompetence that let Kibatu into the UK in the first place. So she had a go at him as well. Now, also, just another
Jeff?
tweet. This is from, sorry?
Yeah, just 1 second. Just a comment here, 1933 NF. I don't know what NF stands for, but the comment is this channel just covering the news then? Well, mostly, yes, but we do a lot of other things, I'll have you know. Oh, yes, we're a little bit of a, what did Labour say? We're a broad church. Yeah, well, we cover a few things on here. It's about community. That's what this, and yes, we cover the news and we speculate upon it and we have a bit of fun with it. That's what it's about here on the Jeff Taylor channel. Carry on, Jeff.
Yes, definitely. And here he is laughing, but this is LBC's Tom Swarbrick, who says he calls out David Lammy laughing at questions on the failures that led to the accidental release of sex offender Hadushi Kibatu from prison. Now, I'll just show you what Jenrick himself had to say about this. Let me just go down. Oh, come on, up you come. And
Secretary could not deport the only small boat migrant who who tried to be deported. Yes. Having been mistakenly released, Hadush Kibatu came back to prison asking to be deported, not once, not twice, but 5 times. But he was turned away. Madam Deputy Speaker, the only illegal migrants this government are stopping are those that actually want to leave the UK. His officials, briefing the press, called it the mother of all. Yeah, they're not wrong, are they? Calamity Lammy strikes again. It's a national embarrassment. And today, the Justice Secretary feigns anger at what's happened. He says he is livid Kibatu was mistakenly let out. But under his plans to abolish short prison sentences that he forced through the Commons last week, Kibatu would never have even stepped foot in prison in the first place. So let's get it straight. We had the spectacle of the Metropolitan Police scouring London to find a man the Justice Secretary is simultaneously legislating to avoid sending to prison. What an absolute farce.
Jeff, you're muted, by the way, sorry. Just there's a few comments coming in here as well saying, about Robert Jenrick from when he was a minister and his lack of action previously. And those are incredibly valid points. I mean, there's nothing like self-interest to drive a Tory, that's what I think. And maybe his position has changed because he can see the way that the country is going. I don't know. Maybe he's a lovely chap. Maybe he's had this road to Damascus conversion, and now he sees the error of his ways. Which, I mean, who knows? Do I trust him? No, not really. No. I like a lot of what he says, but I'm not trusting him.
Yeah, and here's a bit more of young Lammy.
On Wednesday, well, look, they may be laughing, but let me finish this point.
Yeah, he seems to be doing a lot of laughing at the moment about all of this, doesn't he? You think he'd be a bit more serious about it. The whole country's falling apart. The prison system's falling apart. It looks like the whole immigration, and it's both legal and illegal, is just open borders, open season. Visa stamped as you come in. There's an automatic machine. Just put bang, and in they come. And then we'll sort out the housing later. We'll sort it all out later. The Brits will pay, don't worry. That seems to be the impression I get from all of this. Just a total and utter.
Yeah, but he's good. You know,
know,
he's very good on Mastermind, though. Is David Lammy? I mean, I don't know if any of you have seen the footage of Mastermind. What was it? Who came after Henry VIII? I think he said Henry VII. This is not Justice Secretary.
Yes, but we all know it was Henry VI, don't we?
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, perhaps he was thinking in terms of, perhaps he's like so clever. He was actually caught into a parallel universe where time goes backwards. You never know.
Yes. As Lynn Blackburn says, they should police without fear or favour, but sadly it's one-sided and always one group of people who are targeted. Does seem that way, doesn't it? But of course, we have a level playing field where the law is concerned in this country, don't we? Yes. Because Sir Keir Starmer tells us it's that way, and we must all believe him, or you get that knock on the door.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Okay,
now,
so go on.
A lot of people have sort of talked about what would happen to this country. You know, what could happen to this country? And Richard found a little video from Iran before the 1979 takeover by the what do you call it? The mullahs, or what do they call them?
Just the Islamic regime, the Islamic fundamentalist regime that took over. Yeah.
And this was an advert from Iran, and you just think what you see from Iran now, and this was, what, 50 years ago, something like that?
Well, prior to 1979.
There's no sound.
Before
there's no sound, but because it's all foreign and the music and all the rest of it. But I'll just play you the video and see what you think.
It's all foreign, you know. Yeah.
Now, if you said that was from Iran...
Yeah. Well, you have to remember this.
That was from Iran. You'd go, what? You know.
Yeah, well, one of the things you have to remember with Iran is that it wasn't always a Muslim country for a start, okay? But this isn't what we're talking about. We have to be very careful what we say. We're not talking about Muslim countries. We're talking about countries that were overtaken by fundamentalist regimes, okay? And I have to say that very carefully for very obvious reasons. But Iran was, it was the place to go in the 1970s and 60s. You know, it was a totally different environment there. And then, was it that a different ideology then started to spread across the Middle East? Obviously, you've got Shia and Sunni variances. However, extremism did come to the forefront in both expressions, and that's what we're seeing today. There's a lot more I could say about that, but basically what they're trying to do is return the situation to more like the sort of caliphates of like the Ottoman Empire, which were far more strict than what we see today in most other Muslim countries. But yes, I mean, could that happen in the United Kingdom? Because, I mean, what happened in Iran, you had fundamentalists cozying up alongside liberal lefties. Yeah. And I think I sent you another tweet there, Jeff. I don't know if you've got the images of that. I'm not sure if you managed
bear
to
with
take
me.
the screenshots.
I just want to show you this one before we move on. Thank you very much, A. Fenner. I started going to church most Sundays. I work every other Sunday, so can't go every week, and reading the Bible. And when I do, I feel better after. Well, there you go. That's someone who's found some solace in what we're saying. Yeah,
found the truth, absolutely. Yeah. God bless you, A. Fenner.
Yeah. Right, sorry, you were saying, what am I looking for?
Tweet I sent you earlier. I'm not sure if you got it.
What's it about?
Again, about the Iran and...
no, I haven't got that one.
You didn't? Okay. Basically, there's a tweet going around at the moment, and it shows a photograph from the lefties, ladies, in particular in this photograph, who are on the left, who encouraged the Islamic Revolution in Iran. And I believe they were both killed, or at least one of them was killed, after the revolution, as were many other on the left. I think there was tens of thousands, if not more, were slaughtered by the by the Islamic regime there, which is dreadful. But that's what.
Thank you.
I mean, it reminds me of that video the other day where the guy said, "Oh, no need for that. We're on the same side." It's like, no, we're not. I'm like, oh, okay. Penny dropping yet?
Thank you very much for your assistance. We no longer require you, is the message. Yes. So that should wake up the lefties, no uncertain terms. And if it doesn't...
hang on a second, Jeff. I just got to pick somebody up here. I've had this chap saying a few things about me here. Richard, you're so angry, but you don't turn up at a single rally. This is a constant criticism that this gentleman is saying. Well, two reasons. First of all, aside from health and spinal stenosis, we'll forget that for a moment, and a few other health issues. We'll forget that, because there are ways I could, I'm sure, get there. I might end up in a wheelchair by the end of it and half paralyzed, but don't worry about that. But more to the point, Jeff needs me, okay? When you were at the Tommy, the last rally down in London on September was it the 13th, wasn't it? Was it the 13th, Jeff?
Yeah, it was, yeah. September.
I think we had over like 250,000 views. I was able to help curate and assist Jeff on getting that out. So me, one person turning up, compared to 250,000 people watching a cohesive live stream, which incidentally I believe was the most stable live stream from London on that event, when everybody else has kept banging out. I think that takes priority. Sorry, I just had to pick that one up. There we go. Anyway, whoever you are, God bless you. God bless you.
And the Don, the wafflers return. Does that mean we make waffles, Richard? I like the odd waffle.
Oh, yes, I don't waffle. It's a stream of consciousness, and it's incredibly valuable to me.
Yeah, to you and me, yeah. Oh, dear. The worst you can call leftists are naive and optimistic. No, they're not naive and optimistic at all. They act it, but they ain't. All of this stuff about the planet, saving this, saving that, it's all just cover for their overall communist type policies. I remember when there used to be, a couple of years ago, there used to be a website called greenparty.policy.org or something like that. And I found it by accident. And it had the whole thing of this whole, we need one government on the planet and all this sort of thing. I went through it, I thought, wait a minute, this all looks a bit, it had more about that sort of thing than it did about ecology. But that's gone now. They removed it. I think too many people found it. And in there, they talked about, now what was it? We want to see the back of the British citizen or something like that. The concept of the British citizen. The concept of Britain and all this sort of thing. And yeah, that's where their true loyalties lie, that sort of thing, not to do with saving the planet.
Yeah, I think I told you, I said it in a past live stream, and my brief tenure when I was like, was I 19, 20 with the Green Party? Well, I mean, it was just like, this vegan food, it was just some different food. I thought, I'll go along and have some of that. Yeah, they had some good parties. I mean, that was about my level of interest in the Greens, to be honest with you. But there we go.
Yes, hard partying with soy latte and vegetable curry. Yes.
Curry wasn't bad, actually.
Yes. Oh, what's this one? Harry says the wafflers return. I sent the local pub round the corner from Jeff. I've got quite a few local pubs around me. I can't afford to go to them all, though. That's the problem.
Absolutely not at this day and age, no.
Oh, I must search this one out. There's a funny new video mocking the Greta Flotilla made by an Israeli TV program. Yeah, I think I'll have to go and look that one out. Thank you, Joe Michaels. Thank you. Ah, look, see, getting support here from Jenny Stevens. Richard, you should not have to explain yourself. My husband can't go to protests but fully supports me, and that's the important thing. Exactly.
Well,
As the royals say, never explain and never apologise.
Well, the thing is, no, I mean, I would love to be able to go to protests. Hopefully my health will improve and maybe get at some point an operation on my back. You know, it's not very nice when you stand for a little while and all of a sudden you can't feel your leg. It's not good. It's not good. But thank you.
Yes,
thank you for the support,
definitely.
everyone. Yeah. I wish I could go.
Yes. And there's from Lord Viking saying something about it as well. Yeah, anyway, we're getting off topic here, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
This whole thing that
Come on.
the Labour Party is intent on just, they're going to make these camps. It's going to be another failure. It's going to be another failure. One or two of them have burst into flames due to one reason or another. Others will be trashed expensively, you know, obviously by the far right coming in or something like that. You get the idea.
Yeah,
but but the people who don't like it will, and then they'll get moved out again, and they'll put out another contract for more hotels, and then that won't be good enough. This is just going round in circles. We're on a carousel. We're on a political carousel to nowhere. This isn't going to end well. The trouble is the carousel is having more and more people put onto it, and it's going round, it's getting heavier, it's getting bigger, and it's going round faster. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
What happens when they run out of military
grip
camps?
The issue.
Yeah, what happens
Sorry?
when they're running out of hotels? What happens when they run out of military camps as well? I mean, that's something else to consider. As soon as where will they go next? Where will they go next? I mean, as you said, Jeff, I mean, are they going to start buying up private housing? You know, literally going around the housing stock. Don't forget, we've got a house price crash, and what appears to be a house price crash emerging in this country at the moment. So they could start buying up houses very cheaply. So, for goodness sake. Very, very, very scary times. Again, I feel sorry for the people who live in communities close to these. I mean, there are currently certain locations, I believe camps or areas which have been commandeered. And I'm not sure if they're military camps, but I did hear something that, anyway, there are certain areas that have been commandeered, large estates, where the locals there, their lives have changed, not for the better. I don't know why, but yeah.
Well, they were meant to be enriched, so I don't know what they're moaning about. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, Cares 9, or Cares 9, thank you very much for this. It's on the dangers of artificial intelligence.
No, nobody wants to see that.
No one wants to see that. No.
Nobody on earth wants to see that. That's I'm starting to freeze again,
Anyway.
Jeff. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you are,
here.
aren't you?
Yeah.
It must be your router, your standby router.
Well, no, it's not the standby.
Right.
It's like everything seems to be going wrong. What's going wrong? Oh, yeah,
All
I
right.
tell you, ladies and gentlemen,
The whole country is going to the dogs.
it's all
Yes.
going wrong. Everything's going wrong.
Yeah. Now, Bluebeat 79 says the world did nothing to abolish the slave trade. UK stood alone and at massive financial expense to enforce a ban on it. Yes, that's exactly what happened. No one else wanted to get involved. And we went out there and, the Royal Navy just went round and smashed as much of the slave trade as it could find. So great expense. Lots of sailors died. You know, it cost a fortune at the day. I mean, it was a huge amount in GDP terms. We couldn't manage it today. We could not manage that today because we'd be too busy handing out the money to everybody else on the planet instead of dealing with this. It's like we can't smash. There is a slave trade going on in the world at the moment. We wouldn't even begin. We wouldn't even start. It's happening in North Africa, in Libya for a start. We're not going to do anything about it.
Yes.
No, we're not going to do anything about it. We're just going to pretend that slavers from the 17th century are the big problem and it must have been us. Rot.
Yeah.
Tommy Rotten rubbish.
Well, I'm going to have to jump off this live soon because I'm staggering like a good one here. I don't know, have you going to carry on there, Jeff?
No, it's probably for both of us if that's happening. So it might be the same for everybody. Anyway, so what we'll say is with technology issues getting in the way and bandwidth being a bit low for us, I'll just say thank you very much for watching. It's been marvellous to see everybody, and thank you for your contributions. And please like, subscribe and comment below. And please do become a channel member and you'll get some extra content. So that would be nice for you,
and also
won't it?
thank you to and thank you, yes, well, absolutely, but thank you to all of you out there who also support us on Patreon and PayPal. It makes a difference because we just about managed to keep this thing going. And thank you to everyone who supports us. And we will be back later on for a live stream where I hope I am not staggering so much, incidentally. I mean, or maybe maybe this is what I'm like in real life. Maybe I've just, I've sort of broken the space-time continuum. Anyway, God bless you all, and we'll be back later on, either at 5:45 or around 7 p.m, one or the other. Keep checking back, and that's the thing to do. Keep checking back at the Jeff Taylor channel, because we are determined to be. We are determined to be as regular as a man who lives on prunes every day of his life, with a diet of purely of prunes. That's how regular we are going to be. And God bless you all. And Jeff?
Thank you very much, and don't forget the Bran. And on that note, I'll say it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him, from Mr. Jeff Taylor. Goodbye.
Goodbye.